Joanna Ngeno's life ended as dramatically as it was lived. On 28 February 2026, the three-term Member of Parliament for Emurua Dikir died in a helicopter crash in Mosop, Nandi County, alongside 5 other occupants. The aircraft went down in heavy rain while attempting an emergency landing, burst into flames on impact, and left no survivors. His death shocked the nation, abruptly silencing one of Kenya's loudest and most controversial political voices. By the time of his passing, Ngeno had built a reputation as one of the most outspoken, frequently arrested, and politically combative legislators of his generation. His confrontational style often put him at odds with the state and law enforcement. In 2020, he was arrested and charged with hate speech after making inflammatory remarks against then-President Uhuru Kenyatta and his mother Mama Ngina Kenyatta, comments that sparked nationwide outrage and protests by women's groups. He was also repeatedly arrested during protests against government-led evictions in the Mau forest, positioning himself as a defender of displaced settlers but earning the label of an inciter from authorities. In 2024, his political fortunes took another hit when he was removed as chairperson of the National Assembly's Housing Committee amid allegations of bribery and heavy-handed leadership. A year later, he publicly confronted armed officers during violent land disputes in Angata Barikoi, accusing the state of brutality after several residents were killed. Supporters saw him as fearless and unfiltered. Critics viewed him as reckless and destabilizing. Either way, he was impossible to ignore. Born on 12 December 1972 in rural Narok County, Ngeno grew up in Mogondo in what he often described as a deeply traditional and community-rooted upbringing. He attended Mogondo Primary School before proceeding to Maseno National School, where he sat for his KCSE examinations. His academic journey later took him abroad to Kyiv TSN University in Ukraine, where he studied international law. He would go on to earn further qualifications in Kenya, including an LLB from Mount Kenya University, a master's degree from University of Nairobi, and professional training at the Kenya School of Law. In September 2025, shortly before his death, he fulfilled a long-held ambition by being admitted to the bar as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Before fully immersing himself in politics, Ngeno worked in both public service and private practice. Between 2008 and 2012, he served as a director at the Agricultural Development Corporation, gaining experience in state corporations and agribusiness. Law, however, remained central to his identity, and he often spoke of advocacy as a calling rather than just a profession. Ngeno entered Parliament in 2013 and went on to serve 3 consecutive terms as MP for Emurua Dikir. He was elected on 3 different party tickets over the years: Kenya National Congress in 2013, Kenya African National Union in 2017, and United Democratic Alliance in 2022, reflecting both his political agility and the shifting alliances of Kenyan politics. In Parliament, he sat on influential committees, including Justice and Legal Affairs, Public Investments, and NGCDF, and rose to chair the Housing, Urban Planning, and Public Works Committee before his controversial removal in 2024. For years, Ngeno was a bachelor under intense public scrutiny, frequently teased by colleagues, including President William Ruto, about his single status. He married Nyanui Ntutu in a high-profile traditional and civil ceremony in August 2018, linking him to one of Narok's influential families. Their union was celebrated as a political and cultural milestone, and the couple had children together, including a daughter named Princess Taparon. In public, Ngeno cultivated the image of a hard-edged political fighter. In private, those close to him described a devoted husband and doting father. Financially, Ngeno's standing reflected his long tenure in parliament and his business interests. He owned property in Nairobi and maintained a prominent rural home in Mogondo, alongside extensive landholdings in Narok County. His role in parliamentary committees came with additional allowances, and he invested in agriculture and cultural ventures, including founding the Kalenjin Music Festival Awards. Yet his finances were not without controversy. In the months before his death, allegations surfaced over missing funds from a high-profile fundraiser, claims that were never proven but added to the cloud of scrutiny that followed him. On the day of the crash, Ngeno had spent the morning assisting in a search operation near the Mara Rianta before attending a local cultural celebration. Later that afternoon, the helicopter carrying him and 5 others went down in poor weather conditions. The victims were taken to the mortuary at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, and investigations into the crash were launched amid national mourning. Joanna Ngeno left behind a complicated legacy. To his supporters, he was Ngong, the fearless defender of marginalized communities, unafraid to confront power. To his critics, he was a provocateur whose words and actions repeatedly crossed lines. His life traced the messy, combustible intersection of populist politics, personal ambition, and genuine grassroots connection. In death, as in life, he remained a figure who stirred debate, proof that some leaders are remembered less for their silence and more for the noise they leave behind.